Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Demetrius here with the PPP, Panthers Prime Podcast. Let's go. So today's episode, I want to talk about 3 players that the Carolina Panthers have to bring back next season. No questions asked. First player, Brian Burns. We have to bring him back. We don't need to trade him for a quarterback. I've been seeing a lot of stuff going around saying Brian Burns with this 9th overall pick and 2023 picks, 2024 picks. No, we don't need to do that. And I'm going to tell you why. Brian Burns has been a force on the defense since he's been with the Panthers. I just want to pull up his stats real quick. So he was drafted 2019 first round, pick 16 to Carolina. And let's just look at last year's stats. Let's pull up last year. So he had 12.5 sacks last year. 34 solo sacks, assisted in 29. Overall, he's had 119 solo tackles. He has 77 assists and 38 sacks for loss. I mean, I think the guy is pretty solidified. If you ask me, he's the dog that we need on defense. If I was the Carolina Panthers, I would do everything in my power to get him some help on that other side. We had Hassan Reddick, and we've seen what Hassan Reddick has done since his departure from Carolina last year, and the Eagles going to, the Super Bowl. Hassan Reddick was a force, and I believe if the Carolina Panthers, with all the moves that they've made, I believe that Brian Burns, once he gets help on that other side, that he'll be good to go. And guys, as you see, I'm driving a bus. I got passengers coming on and off the bus, so just work with me. Gotta make a living. This ain't paying yet, but it will. So I believe that Brian Burns is the type of player, or is already the type of player that we need to keep. We don't need to trade him. We don't need to try to finagle any kind of deals. We got the 9th overall pick. We got free agency coming up. I believe that if we keep Brian Burns, we have some type of stabilization on that line. Looks like Ivero Ejaro is getting ready to go to this 3-4 defense, quite possibly. I think that Brian Burns can play. I believe that he can play in that scheme. I think he's a versatile player. He can do that. So I don't think we need to trade him. I think that'd be a bad move. I think we'll be making the same mistake that we made letting Hassan Reddick go last year. All right, the second player that I believe that the Carolina Panthers should not release or should not cut coming up into this next season is running back D'Onta Foreman. Since D'Onta Foreman has been with the Carolina Panthers, he's made an impact since we let Christian McCaffrey go early in the season, right after we fired Matt Rule. When Derrick Henry got injured in Tennessee, D'Onta Foreman was a force to be reckoned with while he was in Tennessee, and he's shown why he can be the number 1 guy here in Carolina. Let's pull up his stats real quick. So just in this past season, and I want to say that he was started for maybe about 12 games, about the same amount as Steve Wilks was interim head coach. So he totaled for 914 yards. He averaged 4.5 yards a carry. He had 5 touchdowns, and his longest run was 60 yards. Let's see here. He had 1 fumble, but it didn't really affect that game. I remember that game. And he had 203 attempts this past season. So I believe that, D'Onta Foreman is definitely someone that we have to keep. If you remember back in the old days of Carolina, Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams. It was a 2-headed running attack. No one wasn't better than the other person. When D'Angelo Williams came in, we was going to run the ball hard. When Jonathan Stewart came in, we was going to run the ball hard. And then we had Mike Tolbert as well, a fullback, and we had a real strong run game with those running backs and that fullback. So I believe Frank Wright sees that D'Onta Foreman is a good running back, and we have to have some type of solidification in that running back field. So I do believe that D'Onta Foreman will be coming back into someone that we cannot let go in this upcoming season. And the third player I believe that the Carolina Panthers should not let go is the other running back, Reheem Blackshire. And I'm going to tell you why. During Matt Rule's tenure, we really didn't see a lot of Reheem Blackshire. It wasn't until Steve Wilkes started to do the running back by committee where we finally saw what Reheem Blackshire can do. I do believe that in the NFL you have to, or just in football in general, you have to get reps in order to get comfortable. And we saw that especially with Chuba Hubbard. When Christian McCaffrey was here and they would bring Chuba Hubbard in every once in a while, we really couldn't see how great and how fast Chuba Hubbard was because he wasn't on the dynamic runs. He was like a short, 3rd and 3 or whatever. They'll probably bring him in. He may convert it, he may not, just to give Christian McCaffrey a break. But I do believe if you have D'Onta Foreman, I believe Chuba Hubbard's coming back. I think Reheem Blackshire had like a 1-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check that. But if you bring D'Onta Foreman and Reheem Blackshire back, I do believe that you already have the pieces at running back in the backfield that you need to run this offense next year. I believe that we have something to Reheem Blackshire. He's a young guy, and I think that he can definitely, run that Frank Wright offense. So I believe that we should keep Brian Burns, D'Onta Foreman, and Reheem Blackshire. Thanks for tuning in. This is Demetrius with the PPP Panthers Prime Podcast. Peace.